not having body language. So it's, yeah, so it's a very severe disability. You can't do much about it, and we've got to find solutions for it. That whole thing. So anyway, yeah. So that was 2004. Started enabled. How? Working full time, working. So
How do you work? What do you do?
yeah, so I am the founder of an organization, an NGO called Enable India.
Shanti.
Shanti. Yes. Smile. So Shanti. Okay. We work for the economic independence and dignity of persons with disability. But if hearing me to
Do you encourage deaf kids to learn sign language? Right? From their very young age? Because a lot of doctors and audiologists say speech is important, right? Or sign is bad for you. So what do you think sign language?
So sign language is natural for the deaf, and it is the first language for any person who is deaf, and it has to be almost, I don't know, encouraged, almost enforced. How I explain to a hearing person, when I'm telling a hearing person, I tell them, if you're far away, what do we do automatically when we can't hear each other? We start using signs. We start doing signs, right, when somebody's far away. That means even for a hearing person, when we can't hear the other person, sign language, basic gestures is natural. Let's understand this and respect it. And listen to the deaf. The deaf are telling that sign language is natural for me. Just listen. It's not rocket science.
That's a good. I'm going to start off with a couple of questions. Right? So you can take your time in case you have to think about it, and there's no right or wrong answers to this. Right? So the first question is, can you tell me what is the meaning of ally? A-L-L-Y. So if there's a group I have to explain, what do you mean by ally?
I think ally is somebody who is your friend, who is with you, who is equal to you, and who is not, who's not, there is no difference between you and that person. It's just a person who is with you, and maybe a companion is a buddy. So there are different ways to look at what an ally is. But yeah, that's what I think an ally is. And in the deaf world, I do know that people who are hearing, who truly understand the deaf perspective, the deaf culture, see the deaf as a wonderful, special individual, each one different and unique. That is an ally, especially in the deaf world for me.
So the second question is, if there are people, hearing people specific, and they want to, become an ally.
Yeah.
They want to become allies of the deaf group, right? So what should they do?
This is going to be an interesting answer depending on the type of hearing person. Okay? I have seen 2-3 types of hearing people. One, who are comfortable with their own body language, who are comfortable using expressions. Okay? So when they meet a deaf, they feel a little, first they're not so comfortable, but then they get interested, or they realize, I can communicate, they learn sign language, they're comfortable using their body language. So such a person can become an ally easily with the deaf, because they like using their body. They're already, just look at my hands, how I move. They're already doing this. So they find it easy. They're comfortable communicating with their body. So that person first at least can learn sign language or is comfortable using their expressions, etc. Okay? So such a person to become an ally, first they should be able to see the deaf person as a person, an individual who just is same and different. Right? So sees the person as an equal, sees the beautiful hobbies, the interests, the uniqueness, the strengths. That person can be an ally. If the person feels they're superior, I know more, I'm here to help, then that person is not an ally for me, right? So at least, but it's easier for the person who uses body language to be an ally, who's comfortable. There's a second group who usually is not comfortable using signs. Okay? But they are solution oriented. So they may write, they still care about communicating. They feel, oh my God, here's a person I need. Here's a deaf person. They'll try something. I've seen some people, they start using an app where they can see the sign, then they point it, and they're still interested in maybe in communicating or being an ally, but they're just not comfortable maybe with signs. Some are not able to learn signs at all because their hands don't move. They just have problems, it's very difficult. That group still can be an ally because they're solution oriented, they see the deaf person as an equal, etc., then it is possible. Where the problem lies is with the third group who has a very severe disability. And the disability is of, having this as the expression. They're always with, they're not used to using their hands. They never have a change in expression. I feel they're almost scared when a deaf person comes in front of them. I'm not saying it I'm just making it funny and saying that there's a reason for it, Different people are different. We have to accept that difference also. So such people, they almost don't know what to do. They almost feel disabled, right? When there's a deaf person in front of them, like, how do I communicate? What do I do? So they almost want to get away. Such people, I've not yet found the answer of how to make them an ally. I'm still working on it, Gideon, I must tell you. I am very interested in making them allies. Such a person can become an ally if they see that being with a deaf is an opportunity for them to get out of this, their shyness or their not using their body language. But I have not seen many people taking that opportunity to be with a deaf person and actually learn to communicate. So I don't know whether I've answered your question, but I have seen this behavior in hearing folks. So I hope, it's a complicated answer maybe, but this is what I want to tell you. I want the deaf to know this. I want them to know that there are different types of hearing people and they have their own disabilities, or abilities. Because I'm observing hearing people and I wonder, right? And I feel bad for the person who's not able to, and I'm still trying to see how I can get them here, because this is a wonderful thing when they can actually, because it's very likely they're not even clear in their communication to some people because they're so not having body language. So it's a very severe disability. You can't do much about it, and we've got to find solutions for it. So anyway, yeah.